What's up, everyone? This is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for showing up today. Please go ahead and drop your city or state or both into the chat. Let me see where you are coming from, please. And it also lets me know that you can hear the sound of my voice. I see 250 people are watching, so go ahead and hit the like button, if you will. Okay, I see Kim from St. Louis, Lenora from Maryland. Okay, Cheryl from NYC, Virginia, Minnesota. Ooh, the chat's moving fast now. Charlotte, thank you guys for coming in. Huntsville, Alabama, welcome. Los Angeles, California, New Orleans, South Carolina, thank you guys. Denver, Colorado, ATL, Chicago. Welcome all of you to the chat. 265 of you, please hit the like button if you are watching. Also, you can see that subscribe button if you're watching from your computer. Become a member, please. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. I appreciate every one of you, every single one of you guys for coming in, okay? Let's see. All right, I don't know if I have any mods in here today, so I'm going to, if you don't mind, if I see anyone that I recognize, just add you on as a mod. I think people are abandoning Love and Marriage Huntsville, so they don't want to be caught as a mod in the chat. Oh, Tasha Rains is here. Hey, Tasha. She is coming in from Fort Pierce, Florida. I appreciate you, Miss Tasha. I also see a lot of the members, Cheryl Randall, Golden Candy. Tasha is a member as well. Thank you, guys. Let me get you guys pinned. If you guys see anyone with a star beside their name, these people are members of the channel. So if you'd like to become a member, you can also just hit that chat button. And I'm going to come on in just a moment. But yes, thank you. I see Lenora is helping out. If you don't mind, Lenora, I'm going to add you as a mod. And all that means is if you see anyone showing out, oh, Gigi, thank you. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Okay, let me take this this little box down. Willette Smith, thank you. Okay, guys, so I had to come in on this afternoon. I should have came on, or excuse me, I should have came on yesterday, but I had some other things going on. So I am here today. I'm here right now, and we're going to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. We are also going to talk about, let me see if I can pin any more of my members. I'm going to pin Tasha Rains. I'm going to pin Love Key. I think I've already pinned Willette and Golden Candy. I've pinned you as well. Thank you, guys. I wanted to come on yesterday to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Where's my notes? Oh, got my notes. Okay. I wanted to talk to you about Love and Marriage Huntsville. So this is going to be about reality TV in general. I did watch Belle Collective. A lot of you hit me up about that. There's a scene between Cliff and I think her name is Tisha. Whew, that was something. Cliff threw the mic, told the producers and the cameraman, get out of my face. I don't want you filming this. Oh, hey, Bridget. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Cookie is here. Thank you, Miss Cookie. I appreciate you coming in. And I think that Cookie she's also a member, so I'm going to pin her. And I believe Cookie is also a mod. So thank you very much, Miss Cookie. But anyway, Cliff was upset. He was big mad. Okay. So we want to talk about that. Her name is Latrice. Thank you so much for correcting me. Okay. So there's too many Letitia, Latrice, everything, and I'm trying to get them all corrected. Okay. So her name is Latrice and she goes by Treese. And she had a really interesting moment, more interesting than the moment between her and her husband, where, you know, he thought he was on mic. She came out mic though, right? For those of you who don't watch the show, I should just start it from the beginning so that you guys don't seem so lost. So Belle Collective is on OWN. I think they're on their third season. The first season, they took a really long break before they came back. Second season was really explosive between, I believe her name is Letitia, and her husband. And and I apologize because I'm learning the names because first season didn't do it for me. I ended up watching the second half, and then of course I'm watching the third. But her and her husband were going through some things. They're still going through things, but last season reunion, her and her husband, she made her husband do a DNA test on a baby because he was, having fun outside the marriage. And we definitely expected that to come back up this season, which it has. But I did not expect Latrice and her husband to be going through what they're going through right now, at least on camera. Last year, we saw him being a little, I don't know what the word is for it. He is controlling. She's very much a powerful woman financially. She owns her own business. She acquired wealth. Her business blew up really fast. So she acquired wealth really fast. But he very much wants her to be a woman that is in the house, tending to him, having babies. That's it. She, on the other hand, I think after her career blew up, I think she's like, I don't know if I want to tie myself down like this. And maybe I don't want to tie myself down to you. So a lot of you are commenting on this. So let me see. Someone said, I'm glad you're covering this because I made a promise to myself that I wasn't watching KR Productions. So it's good to get your review. Okay. So another one is the violence and misogyny shown to women on Carlos King Productions is gross. And I want to say this is across the board on all productions. I know that we are in a battle with Carlos King right now, but this is, y'all remember not last season, but when Phaedra had broken up with Apollo and he showed up in her garage and picked up like a drill and act like he was going to come for her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do y'all remember that? They played it. It was like part of the promotion, like, what is Apollo about to do? And that's when she said, go away from me with this, Apollo. And then she called one of his friends who was on a motorcycle and she asked him to pull him out of there. This happens a lot, you guys. We see this. I don't know if we just associate white producers with a different type of show, but this happens all the time with across the board. I just want to say that. But let's see. I'm going to take you down. So anyways, she's outside now. She's still mic'd up. He tells her to unmic. This is Latrice and Cliff. Unmic. And then after they say unmic, sorry, I'm also reading the comments, just making sure that I'm not missing anything. After he tells her to unmic, she doesn't. And then he realizes that she's still mic. And he said, didn't I tell you to unmic? And she ends up taking off her mic pack. And then he takes it and he throws it. And she, in the middle of him throwing it, she said, don't mess up those people's mic. And then he yanked her to the car like a child. And then he's screaming at her about her assistant, basically saying, I don't appreciate you playing with me. And he's playing with me. And that's not the type of man I am. But he's cursing and acting a fool. And they put it up. They put the information on the screen. So let's see. Cliff is mad about the employee living in his house. Correct. That's what I was saying. And I think his name is Josh, the employee. And the employee has been messy. The employee has been revealing things, especially on this last episode, which was the first episode, I believe. Just saying, listen, you're being controlled by this man. I don't like how he treats you. Plus, when we're not on camera and when he's not here, you're telling me things about his behavior towards you. And then you want me to pretend like it's not happening. And I can't do that. And a lot of us are upset that we're seeing it, but this happens in our friendships, right? We have friends who may be going through some mess and they want us to pretend like it's not happening when we're in their company or his company, in the abuser's company. But when that person's no longer there, they want to cry on our shoulder. And this is a real life situation. But the other thing that I was going to say that was even more interesting or triggering, if you will, than watching what he did to Latrice is how Latrice made it okay when she was in confessional. This is my husband. I love him. I'm always going to love him, that kind of thing. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about it. I really can't. These comments are blowing up. There's 520 of you right now watching. If you could, please and thank you. Please hit the like button, okay? Let me know that you are appreciating the content. 268, so 507. Go on ahead and get me up to like 350, if you will. Okay. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk about what we're seeing on television. We're going to talk about why it triggers us, what we think the appropriate response is. Because if we don't see it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And sometimes people need to see things, sometimes for some, to get over things. One of the things that people loved about Melody when she was first telling her story on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and even she said it, I'm not the only one. These kind of things don't just happen to me, right? And a lot of people appreciated that story, but now we are asking for a complete shutdown of these stories. So I am interested in seeing what you guys, how you feel about it and what you have to say. Golden Candy said that Latrice's confessional gave me R. Kelly, Gayle King interview vibes. Okay, so you felt like she was, listen, Golden, I would love for you to come up and talk to me about this. I'm serious. Sugar said, I think this is a great topic. Diana, me too, child. That's why I wanted to come on and talk to you about it. We're seeing this, right? We're seeing in real time right now, reality TV stars who gave the image or pretended to have this great marriage, right? This great love. How about Kim Zolciak and her husband right now? What's his name? Bierman? Kroy with a K, Kroy Bierman. And right now, Kroy is letting everybody know she's an alcoholic. She abused our finances. We are living in dire straits right now because of her gambling habits. Gambling habits. Paperwork has been released showing all of her expenses on these credit cards. It has been awful. Okay. People are getting called out. Now, these are white people, okay, that have been, again, put in our face as having good relationships. And now that they are divorcing, they're letting it all out, right? And I'm going to say quotes around that because I never thought they had a good relationship personally. And I don't like Kroy. I believe what Nene Leakes said on that reunion stage when Kim started crying and talking about how dare you let them call me racist. I believe all of that. I believe that she pins herself up with men who have a certain amount of money and that certain things come out about them. And she ties herself to anybody that she believes fit her lifestyle. But I do know that when she married Kroy, he went into that house and cleaned up anybody that wasn't white. Anybody, all of her assistants, all of her dressers, hairdressers, all of those people, they got gone. So says a lot. And even though he pushed all those people out of there, his life still ended up, not that great. So it's funny to me. That's all I'm saying. What else is being said? Chiquita said, Mr. Cliff was wrong on all levels. She is making excuses for him. You can tell he is controlling. And he's always been controlling since season 1. But season 1, she kind of laughed about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that big of a deal. He's just older than me. And he wants to, keep me in the house because I'm cute and fine and I got all this money. Second season, it was more of the same. But this time we saw him do some crazy stuff. Like, remember, he drove off on the golf cart and left her on their property, but wherever they needed to be that took a golf cart to get there, he left her to walk back to the house barefoot. And I thought that was crazy when I saw it. That was second season. This season, episode 1, this man is throwing hissy fits and saying that if you want a real man like me, this is what comes with it. So if this is what happened on camera, we know what's going down off camera is definitely much worse. He couldn't even get her out of the parking lot. And I don't know how big their area of town is, but my guess, if she was in a parking lot and she said, I was embarrassed because people were watching us and they knew who I was and all of this stuff, horrible. Horrible. Let's see. Who said that? Said, we don't hear about abuse in marriage and relationships till it is absolutely trouble going badly. Yes, ma'am. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. And I don't necessarily think let me see what this person, Golden, said. Kroy don't have any problems with Kim spending money, and she has never taken care of their kids. Thank you, Golden. Listen, girl, come on up. It was cute when they were on the show, for sure. That show went off the air, and all of a sudden it's a problem. He was spending the money too, is what it tells us, right? Thank you. I want rational thought here. Now, if he wanted to put a stop to this, he could have put a stop to it anytime they were on that show for the last whatever many years, multiple years. He was on that show smiling anytime Kim did whatever. Anytime she took a drink, he was smiling, being her chauffeur to the bar, being her chauffeur to Vegas or wherever she was doing all of this mess. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to be, taken seriously. That's not cool. That's not cool. So yeah, I'm about to drop the link in just a second. We're also going to talk about Martel, y'all, because y'all know Thursday, Thursday, Melody went on her platform to let everybody know that she felt like she was, I believe it was Thursday, actually it was the week before, right? So it was probably like 7 or 8 days ago. She went on her platform, let everybody know that, listen, something that Martel has been saying since second season, when Melody initiated the divorce process. Second season, Martel came out and said, the reason why I stepped out of my marriage is because you weren't taking care of me. Remember that? That was an ongoing storyline from second season until, I want to say, right now. I think Melody made him, I believe, in fifth season when they went to Destin. That was when she made him say, I want you to say right now that I used to do X, Y, and Z for you, right? Y'all can use your imaginations here. You know what I'm talking about. And Martel was sitting at the table and he almost cringed. Why are you talking like this? Yes, you used to do that for me. She made him check it. But even still, the word was already out there. But he went around telling everybody that. Everybody. I mean, once you get it on television, you done told everybody. So on top of you saying, my wife didn't take care of me, and he said that on platforms where they discussed how to keep a man happy in marriage. There were women who was, I think Linda Gamble, I think you are a moderator of mine. Thank you for coming in. But he said this on platforms where he was saying that if you want to keep your husband happy, if you want to stay married, this is what you need to do in order to do that, because this is what happened to me. And that's why I stepped out and blah, 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 blah. I want y'all to know this has been an ongoing topic. This isn't something that, just happened. It's been an ongoing topic. And when it was happening, it was filthy. But I actually Googled Melody's name because I wanted to see what popped up. And Martel saying that Melody had been with multiple women is one of the things that multiple men. My apologies. Melody being with multiple men. Nix that. I was thinking about Martel and it just came out. That has been an ongoing story to the point of where it is showing up on blogs. Like if you type in her name, it actually pops up under that. So this has been an ongoing thing. So Melody being able to say, this is what this asshole did to me, and I'm going to air him out every chance I get, every single chance I get. A lot of people, like myself, thought it was the right thing to do. You need to be able to come out and take up for yourself and stand up for yourself personally. That's my thoughts. Okay, there's 719 of you in the chat right now, or watching. If you guys can get these numbers up, please. Can y'all get me up to 500 likes so that we can make sure that more people are able to join? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the implications that Martel put on Melody. Not only did he do that, but he made sure that a guy that he knows who does sports radio also shared a similar story, making it seem like Melody was for the streets. This went out to all of, any man who listens to sports. He also said it on what other platform? When he tied her to the Huntsville councilman. Now you're tying that story to anybody who is in government, right? Anybody who's doing any type of politics in government. I don't think people know how low down this MF happens to be. That is a lot. I mean, there's levels to this. And I listen to it and I'm like, okay, I don't even know where to go. I don't know what is happening here. But people, they still will say that Martel is the victim of something. It is what it is at this point. I'm okay with Melody airing out Martel. And however it came to be with Miss Carson, it is what it is. I do want to say this because I told someone who had given me information about Carson, I told her that I would have a conversation today about how I got that information. So I think on the night that Carson showed up on Love and Marriage Huntsville, she ended up talking to or sending some someone I should say ended up sending some information to Anthony Lofty's, and I think Anthony Lofty's talked to her that night as well. And Carson was saying, I have no idea how you guys even recall or remember this video I did with Coleslaw, because it was only one time. I only did it one time. I never spoke about anybody on it. Um, and I'm going to read this comment from Marceau's Tits in just a second. But she was like, I never talked to anybody about it. Or, you know, I'm surprised that this would even show up. And anyway, she ended up saying that she thought that someone from Martel's camp had spreaded that rumor or had spreaded that video around. And she was really upset about it. She was like, Carson said, I think someone from Martel's camp, either Martel or maybe Ariane herself, spread this information around. And because of it, you know, she was pretty hot. She had said it on a bunch of different platforms. And this lady reached out to me and said, that isn't true. She said, I did not spread this information to anybody. She said, I told you, and I told Anthony Lofty's, and that's it. She said, I just have a really good memory, and I recognized this woman's face on TV, and that's when I told. She said that Melody ended up blocking her, and she felt horrible because she said, I am a true millimeter. I don't even know what to do to get myself out of this situation. And I told her that when I went live again, that I would definitely discuss her story. I would tell everybody what happened, and I felt bad. So I wanted to put this up here. Thank you so much, Judy, for the super sticker. But yeah, she said she felt bad and that she was hoping that her name would be cleared. So y'all, I wanted to share that. I hope that people, that you guys can spread the word. Apparently Martel and Ariane had nothing to do with it. It was just a situation, you know what I'm saying? So Marceau's Tit said, after Johnny Depp's trial, it is evident that she needs to file a lawsuit against him as well as criminal charges. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Latrice, or are you talking about someone else? Or Melody? Are you talking about Melody, that after Johnny Depp's trial that needs to happen? Okay. Maybe you're talking about Melody. I apologize. So I told her that I would share this story with you guys on my live. I'm also going to send a piece of information that she had sent to me. I'm going to shoot that over to Melody by DM. And, you know, it is up to Melody whether or not, you know, she chooses to unblock you. I don't have anything to do with that. I just wanted to make sure that I cleared your name. Okay. And then Marceau's Tits wanted to confirm that she's talking about Melody. Okay. Cool beans. I love your name, by the way. That is hilarious. Okay. Do I know that Carson is telling her story? Yes, I know that she's telling her story. And a lot of people have brought up some things. I don't know if it's true or not true, but a lot of people have brought some things up that I'm sure has been spread around, up, down, all around. She is opening up a business, if I'm not mistaken, pretty soon. So if she wants to, you know, tell a story so that she can appear human to people, that makes sense. I can't say that I blame her on that. Mary White said that I worked as a nurse at Job Corps, and it taught young women and men about DV and how to avoid it and to take care of yourself if it occurred. I experienced it for 9 years until I got out of it. Well, I'm happy that you are out, Miss Mary White. Okay. And yes, we need to talk about it on every platform. That's the way we know things. Keeping things in the dark keep us in the dark. It keeps us in the stone ages. Coco Lee said that Martel ruined his marriage because he can control his deviant urges, a sign of mental illness. Okay, so I read that, but I do want to say we don't know if Martel is mental ill. We can make these comments, but we're not um, medical professionals. We can't do that. So you're saying that he needs to be evaluated. I just want to say I don't want any problems with anybody. So let me put up my banner just to make sure that we're not saying anything out of pocket and people get upset. We do see behaviors that are really questionable, and it triggers us, right? We know that some things don't appear to be normal, and so we're hoping that people can do what they're supposed to do. We also read paperwork from a court saying that Martel needed therapy, so we can say that. Let's say those things. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the chat. 895 of you are on right now watching. We're about to drop a link and get to it. So far, I have brought up Belle Collective, Latrice, and Cliff. We have talked a little bit about Martel and some of the things that had led up to Melody saying, this is a moment where I'm going to come on my platform. I'm asking everybody to please join me and listen, because for anyone who questioned the fact that I was out here doing whatever in my marriage, it is not true. It is a storyline that has gone on since second season. Him saying that I wasn't doing what I needed to do. Not only did he share it on the show, but he shared it on all platforms. All platforms. I stepped out of my marriage because my wife was not doing what she was supposed to do. He was saying things like that, which is ignorant as all get out, but he got away with it. And now she's able to say, I'm going to, clear my name. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay. Let's see. Journey to Jasmine. She said that two of my sisters are leaving narcissistically abusive relationships, and I am so glad more and more women are waking up to their divine and realizing their self-worth. And I love it here. And Journey to Jasmine, I'd like to ask you, how did your sisters, if you don't mind, like joining the chat, and you can keep your you can stay behind a wall if you like. How did your sisters know to leave that relationship? I would like to ask that. People get involved in these relationships and they stay for a long time. I mean, they're narcissists when they are being courted. They're narcissists when they are in their 9th or 10th year of marriage. What makes them leave? And when did when did you come to realize that you were in a bad situation? That's what I would like to know, because a lot of people like to blame the victim and say things like, well, you knew this is who he was when he was married, so that's your fault, which is the wrong thing to say. Like, we know that these situations happen. We know that love is a chemical in the brain, and you can't help it who you love. You know what I'm saying? You can't help it. It takes a long time to get yourself to a place where you're like of rational thinking, right? So thank you everyone again for joining the chat. Let me see. I'm about to drop this link in 2 minutes. 945 are you watching right now? 529 likes. If you guys can get me to 700, please. 700 likes, I'd appreciate it. Some of you are just, I think they call it in the bushes watching. You're not in the chat, but if you're in the bushes, you can still like. I won't know it. Just go ahead and like it, okay? Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Because my therapist told me that a narcissist rarely flip, Dyana. That's why I stayed away from my husband. Knowing from a professional that he would likely never change. So he never would go to the other side, is what you're saying. Okay. I love talking to you guys. I love it when you share your stories. I think that people sharing their stories is what helps others. Whether we see that visibly, whether we read it, it's life-changing. These stories change people's lives. It helps them realize that they're in a bad situation. So just so you guys know. Val, okay, sorry about that. Mary White said that I wasn't raised in that kind of situation, and my supervisor, where I worked at a hospital, was like a dad to me and told me to go to the chapel and pray for him to leave, and that's what I did. Okay, that says something. I had a mentor who was a man, and really a father figure to me. And I learned so much from him about men. The things that he would share, like, no, like maybe he thought he needed to be my father because it was the first time I had moved away from my home and family. And he was just like, listen, this is what you're not going to do. This is what you're going to do, because I don't want your mama ever calling me about anything. And it was helpful. Let's see. All right, you guys, I'm about to get the link pinned up. So we got 3 things to talk about, because I also want to talk about Kim. Oh, and I also, no, let's talk about these 3 things first, okay? Let me make sure I have everybody's information. Okay, hold on. I'm about to drop this link. Give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna put the screen back up and I'm about to drop the link. We're going to talk about all of these subjects today. I want to know what you guys think about, telling your story and making sure that you are helping others. Your life is a testimony to other people. All of us, we all have something to talk about and share. So this is the join link. Give me a second, guys. Takes a little bit of thought before I put this stuff up here to make sure I'm not messing it up. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put the join link up with the membership link in case you guys still want to join. I want to put both up. That way you'll have an option to do so. Okay, so I'm pinning this right now. And the first link is to join the stream. The second link is to become a member to the channel. I will continue to talk to you guys about this, but let's talk Cliff and Latrice first. I really want to know what y'all think about it. Cliff and Latrice, what we're seeing on the show. How do you feel about this? I don't know what the age difference is between them. He seems considerably older, like he could be 15, 17 years older. Also, I see, let's talk about Martel and how he put Melody's information out there. Like literally, it felt like he was trying to wipe her out so that no man would want her. And I've had a conversation like that in many of my videos where I've said, he is giving me, if I can't have you, nobody can vibes. So I just want to say that. I'm bringing you guys up. I'm going to have you mic up too, okay? And then we have Maritha, then Golden, and then I'm bringing up Lori Belle. Thank you for showing up on camera, Miss Lori Belle. I appreciate you. Okay, and I'm going to start with Maritha first. And then also, what do you think about Kim and Kroy and all of this stuff that is pouring out right now? Like, Kroy is in an abusive relationship. He wants the kids, he wants the house, he wants alimony and child support. But as I forgot your name, honey. I apologize for not giving you the credit. But someone in the chat said he was fine with all of this when all of this is happening. And now he's making himself out to be a victim of something. And I don't think I like it personally, but I'd like to know all of your opinions. So let's go, Maritha. Tell me what's going on with your thoughts.
Well, good afternoon, ladies. And Dyana, as always, you're wearing that hat, sis. Anyway, I'm going to start with Kim and Kroy because that's the easy one. I'm in agreement with the lady in the chat. You get what you got. You know, it's like your parents used to say, well, you get what you paid for. That's what he get, because doing and he was so nasty to Sweetie. So, when you met Kim, she was a garden tool. So you can't change a garden tool into a wife. And that's that with that.
Okay, that was Golden who shared that bit of wisdom.
And Golden she was absolutely on it. She was on it. And
Right.
when the money ran out, Kim ran out.
That's how I
And
felt about it. I'm like, listen, I don't know why everybody is saying poor Kroy, poor Kroy.
no, poor nobody. Now with Latrice and Zaddy,
Zaddy.
I'm gonna tell you, with that, older men marrying younger women and younger women marrying older men, they need to think before they take that leap because it looks good on the outside, like you're standing on, like you window shopping. But once you get into it, he knew that Latrice was ambitious. He knew that Latrice was young enough to be his granddaughter.
Daughter. Thank you.
So, you going into this now, and Latrice has her reasons for not wanting to have a baby. And I can kind of understand, the don't want to mess up my body part. I don't, I kind of understand that. And her business is finally getting to a place to where, when it gets to where she feels like she can just say, okay, now I'm ready. Her business is not there, and nobody has the right to tell her when it's time for her to have a baby. And this girl has had some trauma growing up, and that's one reason
Yes,
she don't want to have babies, because she said a man can leave you at any time. And I totally get that. So they're going to have to work that out, and he's going to let her be who she is, and he's going to have to accept that this is the woman that I married. But however, Latrice is going to have to understand him as well. He is the older man, and then you got your friend living in the house with you. Somebody got to move out. See, because my best friend can't stay with me and my man, because that's the problem all in itself right there. And then with Martel, now we know Martel is 51 and a half cards full of a deck. So Martel is doing anything and everything to destroy Mel. But it don't look bad on Mel's part. It looks bad on his part, because Mel has not said anything about this trifling ninja. She's being quiet. And we can all say, if that was me, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. I don't know what I would do in a situation like that. I honestly don't know. So he could try to put mud on her name. He could try to do all the things that he has done. And she said, y'all ain't got it yet. Y'all don't understand. God don't play by me. I am truly one of his children. And when they get that in their head, then they're going to be fine. You see, Martel is doing all sorts of things. He's letting another woman post a picture of their child. And, for me, that would have been the nail in the coffin. That part would have been the nail in the coffin. What would I have done? I don't know. I can't say. But I know at some point the end game hasn't ended yet, because he has more. He got more stuff he's gonna try to throw at Mel, but he don't understand. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. The Bible, God's words, do not lie. So
Hold
and
on.
then going out and saying this woman do everything that he's projecting on Mel, are the things that he has done, or the things that he is doing. So, I don't even take it with a grain of salt. I look at it and I go, oh, this ninja at it again. That's the way I look at it. Because you know what? Mel is going to be okay. She's going to be more than okay. Because once you go in your prayer closet, wherever that is, and you close that door and you have a conversation with God, and you walk out of your prayer closet, either God then gave you one or two answers. I got this, and wait, hold up, baby. You just got a little bit more to go. Just hold on. I got this. So the battle is not Mel's. Martel is wrestling with himself. And then when you come up against God, you're going to always lose. So
You're right.
those are my thoughts.
Those are your thoughts. Okay. So I didn't get a chance to read a comment. I want to read the comment if you don't mind. And that is, I will say this: if you're involved with someone who's in the Freemason Society, be careful. Their bond is stronger than the police blue wall. Who is a part of the Freemason Society? Is that Cliff? Did anyone know? No?
I would guess. Can I say something? Is it
Yes.
okay? Okay. First of all, I'd like to say hi to you, Diane, and everybody in the chat, especially Maurice. I feel like I know you. When I hear your voice, I know it's you. I just got to tell you. But
Oh
I
wow,
think it
thank
might,
you.
you're welcome. I think it could possibly be Martel because it seems like he keeps getting away with everything. He never goes to jail. I mean, it seems like everything he touches, he just gets away with it. So he's connected to somebody that he's able to always get away with stuff all the time. Something's not right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Murdoch,
it is Martell. It
I want,
is Martell. You could get away with a lot of stuff, but you can't get away from God.
okay, so I want
Correct.
to just confirm who that was because they put that comment up there and I was like, who are we talking about specifically? So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And if you could confirm that for me, Murdoch, I think you tried, but let me know. And then I just wanted to read what this person said about Nini. Thank you, Maritha. I appreciate you coming up. She said that I know Nini have gotten a big head from RHOA, but she brought up certain things. And now you said what? She brought up certain something to RHOA that is now missing, and I stopped watching it as a result. Now, Nini was the person who blew the roof off the mother about all of the racism that was going on at over there on Bravo. And we forget about that because if y'all have been paying attention, they've been shutting down their shows and literally firing bunches of people. That's how Kim and Kroy lost their show right after those comments were made. I think they fired everyone on Real Housewives of New York. They put it on hiatus for like a year and a half, and now they're bringing it back. But they fired a lot of people. Okay, so I put that up there. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Miss Golden
It, it,
or Miss Lori Bell, go ahead.
Hi.
I,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay,
I just wanted to say, is it okay for me to say something about Mel and Martel?
I would love for you to.
Okay. First of all, I think Melody is very intelligent and she's a smart young woman. And she is highly favored by God. I think that a lot of Martel's problems is he's been able to get with everything that he gets away with ever since he was a little boy with no discipline. Because if you saw the episode when he was talking to Maurice, talking about being in like the bad kids school, like the ROTC, and just like having no structure. He's been doing this for a very long time. And as you should say, allegedly, I think he's the male. He's the male 304. I know that Melody didn't do anything, and I think that Melody, she's playing her cards right by keeping quiet, and I'm sure she gets a lot of DMs to help her. I ain't gonna lie, I DM her sometimes too, but I think that she's being strategic, and her lawyers are telling her how to handle it because enough is enough. I don't think that, like we can't say what works for us works for her, but I think that she probably had enough, and she's at a breaking point, and they need to be dealt with civilly, federally, FBI, whatever, because all of the hacking of the phones and just doing all that bad stuff to that girl, they got to get it. And Carlo's the ringleader with Martel. I believe it.
Do you think that we like to say that she's smart, but do you think that she gave it to her attorney and that they did what they needed to do to follow up on that information? I
I
mean,
believe that she. I
idiot.
believe that she did give it to her attorney, and I think they're watching to wait and see how it plays out, and I think it's going to be handled because they can't keep just walking over this girl like that. It can't.
Well,
It's not really fair to her because he's putting her there. I could see, like, I watched that live too, and when she mentioned about the PTSD, I'm sure that had to be hurtful. And besides that, there's no judgment. I mean, if she's a married woman and that's what she chose to do, that's on her. If that's what she wants to do when she was married, but he's totally wrong. He's blackmailing her. Like, who does that? And you got the 4 kids by this girl, and then he has these side chicks posting pictures of his kids, and he don't even want her kids to be around the brother. That's not right. It's double standards.
it's a horrible situation. Horrible situation. I 100% agree with that. Horrible situation. Now and I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Hmm.
People are upset with Melody, thinking that she has control. Like I read some comment that said, why are people upset that why are people upset saying they need her to bring the FBI and all this other stuff Why isn't she doing it? Now, I heard her say that she said when it happened, the day it happened, actually, she said, it's already gone over to my lawyer. And someone was in my comments saying, if Carson would have said this, a year ago, 2 years ago, this might have been different. This might have changed things. Do you think that would have changed things?
I kind of think so. But nevertheless, I'm glad that Carson did say something because
So
she has more
information like that and said,
I'm sorry?
if a total stranger said, I have ties to your ex-husband, someone that you don't get along with,
Mhm.
and his girlfriend, baby mama, you would believe the total stranger?
I think that I probably, even though it was a year ago, I would have believed her only because he had already sent her that text message. So I don't think that he would have been able to defame her as much.
The text
if
message
he-
came after. The text
right,
message
but I'm,
last year, the year before
yeah,
that. Mm-hmm.
right. But if she had been given that information a while back,
Mm-hmm.
she would have been able to put it together a lot better than she did now. But better late than never, because everybody's harping on top of the girl Carson. She's young, but she did do the right thing to step up. That's more than Letitia and the Scott family did, and they all knew about it. So I give little Carson credit. I give her credit because that actually helped Melody. And what Melody said was she does things in her own time when she's ready. So they're probably working behind the scenes. She's a smart young woman, very smart.
I agree.
I think that they're handling it.
Thing off with that, we don't know what she's doing to keep the ball rolling on her side. We don't know, but we assume that she is she may not be doing XYZ. I think she knows and she's handling herself. I think that she does appreciate people communicating things to her, and I think that also when we attack people who are bringing us information, we don't know what else. Like, what if enough people attack Carson that the person who actually might have a tape, what if he gave that video to someone, which would be a federal crime, and they were thinking about bringing it forward, and they changed their mind because they feel like, ooh, I don't want that backlash. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know, and this is all hypothetical, by the way, but we don't know if that went anyplace else. If that conversation was had with a total stranger that they've only known for 2 months, what else could have happened? Because we've seen him systematically carry out certain things, like the guy who works on the radio station, the sportscaster. I'm like, this doesn't even have anything to do with sports. What the hell is this about? For you to share that with all of Huntsville across the radio.
But have you noticed how none of them have come out since this came out and said anything? I mean, they had Ariane doing that foolish interview, which didn't make any sense at all. And nobody else is saying anything. The only one I've seen post something positive about Melody is Nell Fletcher, which I'm glad she got somebody on the side.
What do you mean say something? What do you mean by say something? What do you want them to say?
Well, first of all, I think that Carlos is so busy always talking about everybody else's show. Why isn't he addressing this? Don't wait until the reunion. You go on with him on tours for Suit Lines and talking on talk shows and all different platforms. So why aren't you addressing this? They're abusing this girl in public. Like you said, some people said that it's probably a good thing that everything is being documented on this show, because if it was totally behind the scenes, nobody would probably believe it.
You're right.
It's just like any other person. If they don't have a platform, can you imagine how much they might have to go through?
I do. I already know what they go through without a platform. I've watched this up close and personal for a while, and I'm telling you, I've said it from the beginning. People are able to get some strength from certain things that we see, and then some people may not be. And I understand that too. But I do believe. I lost my train of thought. One of the things I was going to say was I did watch part of a video that Wanda did recently. It said that Tisha actually wanted to come on live and say something. I don't know what. She didn't say what, but she said that she told her over her dead body. She said, you see what they're doing to that girl? I don't care what she knows. She should not say a thing.
Yeah, but Tisha's the one that was calling Melanie with the dark soul, but it's really Tisha, and Tisha is a replica of her mother. Some people just grew up.
Say that one.
she's a replica of her mother. They're
No,
like this.
before that, you said Tisha was the one who really.
Oh, she said that Melody had the black soul. It's
Oh,
not Melody, it's her because they're all in cahoots together. So she's like Wanda Jr. and then there's Wanda Sr., right?
hmm.
And she's doing the same thing that her mom is doing, and that's not nice. Like, how could you not like somebody so much? Like, they just mad that all the doors that Melody had open for them, they can't eat off of her anymore. That's what they mad about.
In the chat is saying that Carlos knew about the video. Could y'all tell me how y'all know that? Does anyone know that? You can either come up and share if there's anyone on the panel who knows that he knew about the video. If y'all could share it, I'd appreciate it. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Miss Lori Bell. Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, basically, and in regards to what you just said about him knowing about the video, it wouldn't surprise me because it's almost like he worships he worships Martel. Why? I don't know. They might be mad at me now for telling the truth, but I'm just saying. Um, I rock with Melanie and her mom and her brother because it's not fair the way they do it. Do I know these people personally? No. But just like I don't know them personally, I don't know you personally, but I enjoy listening to all your commentary. I enjoy watching all their videos, and I feel like you guys are all connected to, like, we're all connected, even though we're in different states.
I try to
Um,
be a very genuine person online and talk to you guys, and I appreciate when you guys say that. So thank you. It is
I
not.
really appreciate it.
It is not an act. This is who I am all day, every day. Oh,
Right. I'm
and
gonna
I'm
let somebody else get up and talk, but I appreciate you taking me and just know that I listen to you guys every day. Maritha, I know that voice anywhere, just to let you know, but I appreciate you all and thank you for letting me come up.
okay. I love you.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Thank
much.
you. Love you
Okay.
more.
Okay. So L Boogie is said that they are just guessing. They don't have actual facts, though CK is shisty. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that I wanted to put the facts out there because I'm like, ooh, I missed some stuff. I didn't realize that that was out there that he knew. So, but you're saying it's just an alleged, people are assuming. Okay. I appreciate that. Okay. Miss Golden, you are up next. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to, someone had jumped down and I didn't get a chance to speak to them. Okay. Go ahead, Miss Golden.
Hi, you guys. Happy Wednesday. I
Happy
am so happy to be
Hello.
in that afternoon chat with you guys. Okay, let me see. We're starting first with Kroy and Kim.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kroy, for me, I think that Kroy is an opportunist. Kroy was a kicker for the Falcons. I don't know, like it's kickers. I don't even think he was a first string kicker. So like I think they played that NFL. He's an NFL football star up a little bit, but I believe that Kim definitely was making more money from the Real Housewives than
Me too.
Kroy was. And I
My
mean, and
husband
then like he
actually
couldn't even get
watches
on another team.
my husband watches football. He said he barely
Hmm.
saw Kroy and that Kroy didn't make any money.
Yes,
So yeah.
yes. So, he came up, even though like they were like, oh, his family told her not to marry him not to marry her. And like, now I'm not saying I rock with Kim, but I'm just saying that, the fact that it almost appeared like when they got married that they were trying to make Kroy better than Kim. Oh, Kroy is better than Kim. First of all, he was in the same little flimsy dancing with Georgia Stars that Sheree was in. So that was Kim's first mistake. The second mistake was that he has hips. He's another man with hips.
With hips.
He
Wow.
has hips.
That's the
Yes, he
same thing
has
I
hips.
saw when I watched the show. I was like, what is going on here? Talking about he has a cute butt. Do you not see them hips? And
Those hips.
he chews snuff and all that mess. Yes, go ahead.
Because yeah, I'm not even going to talk about. I'm
Thank
going to leave it because I had some stuff to say about that, the snuff, and we know where he came from. That's why he got rid of Sweetie. And Sweetie was rocking up and down the road everywhere with Kim, and they were more than employer. Sweetie was her friend. She
yes.
was her friend. So like she wrong for that. And I kind of wonder, like for me, it's just my opinion. I wonder if it was Andy that helped save that house from foreclosure in the first place. But I don't know. It's like lots of things has happened, but all of a sudden they were able to keep the house for like 3 more months. Somebody came up short. But he didn't. How does Kim all of a sudden have a $300,000 gambling habit? Y'all have been kicked out of like five different mansions.
Let me ask you something, Golden. How fast would you be out of that relationship if your partner would spend 300? Did he say a month or a year?
I don't. It sounds like every time she go to the casino, he was saying she dropped $300,000. Where are you gambling at? Where is the bus that's taking these people to the casino where they are dropping $300,000? Even if it was a year, my zaddy would be on the curb.
So Michelle W said per month, and that's what I thought I heard, because when I read, and I don't know if it's true or false, but they have, I went to see how much did they pay per show, and what it came back was that I guess toward the end of her, run for Tardy for the Party, I don't know what it was. I don't know. I can't say it happened every season, but toward the end of the run for Tardy for the Party, they were saying she made $800,000 an episode, and he made $20,000 as her manager. So he didn't do any other appearances or anything as a football player. He completely relied on her money, and when she was abusing it, like you said, it was all gravy.
He was fine with it. He was fine with it. He was fine with paying the chef that they didn't need, who also was Kim's friend, with them flying over the place. That's why I said, like, he talking all this stuff, but when Kim had those 4 kids with him, she wasn't taking care of those kids. He wasn't taking care of those kids. She paid people to take care of the kids. She didn't cook. She didn't clean. I mean, what she do? She had people coming over there to do body treatments. She was getting basically liposuction at a poolside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was coonery on a whole nother level. Just wasn't us, but that was fake coonery on their show.
And I want to say to Miss Eva Renee, because she said, I'm sorry, has everyone forgotten about Kim and Big Papa days? And I haven't. That's why I said at the beginning of this, I was never fond of Kim and Kroy. I never watched the show, maybe every once in a while, but I will say this. When those cameras were filming and Sweetie was there and her black male gay assistant was there and the one who did her hair and the one who did her clothes, and those cameras was catching all that ignorance, nobody ever said a thing. When Kroy said, I'm cleaning the house, and he had an all-white party, nobody said a thing. Nobody said it. When Nene brought it up on the stage and Candy said, yeah, I was there for that. And I saw that too. And when her and Sweetie went to wherever Candy's part of town was, and they said they were in the hood, all that mess was fine. It was fine. Thank you so much, YouTube user, and to everyone who have blessed the channel and became a member. I'm okay. I'm sorry about that, Miss Golden. Go ahead.
That is absolutely true. And I don't even see, like, I remember Sweetie, but I don't even remember the hairdresser and the assistant. I don't remember any of that. It always made me feel like, Big Papa was, Big Papa, like, because Kim has had a certain, group of people that she surrounded herself with. And so that all changed.
Kim, anything went, and for wealthy men, anything went. And when Nene and Candy, I think it was Candy, Nene, and maybe even Phaedra, I want to say, I remember 3 people saying something, but when they said they were at the house when he threw cigarette butts at her, at Sweetie, I think it was Big cigarette butts at her, the lit cigarette butts, said clean it up. And then use the N-word, and she was sitting there, what happened? And Candy was like, I saw it. And then, I was like, well, ain't that something? And then when
raising her daughters the same way, because remember the whole Nene had a roach in her bathroom thing?
Yep. Then Nene said, your slave is behind you. For sure she did that. But it was Carlos King who recently revealed that Big Papa used to be on set with Kim. He would hide in closets and stuff like that so that he wouldn't be seen. So that abuse that everybody saw, it wasn't because they were at Big Papa's house. It was because they saw it on the set. That was what he was talking about, you guys. They saw it on the set. She wasn't over there at Big Papa's house. They was at the doggone set when he was doing that nastiness.
Straight up pimp. Straight up pimp. And she glorified that mess. She glorified it.
Mm-hmm.
She
And she's
did. She
about
did.
no racism doesn't exist. Child, bye.
Right. Whew. Even took our wigs, child. Even took our wigs. Um, Latrice and Clifford.
Yes.
Whew. Okay.
What's your thought
Cliff
about them?
Cliff definitely took advantage of Latrice, I feel like, at a vulnerable moment in her life. She had
Mm-hmm.
lost her brother. Um, she didn't have her father in her life. She lost her. Did she lose her mother? I feel like I've seen
Yeah,
Latrice's
I
mother
think
on the
so.
show.
Yes. I remember
Okay.
someone said something about her mother actually saying that that was her mother who said that Cliff is too controlling.
Okay, because I feel like I saw her on the show like one time. I feel like she left and she went to her mom's house to like talk about the situation with Clifford. But correct me if I'm remembering wrong, but didn't like Latrice was building her business. She said she was selling hair out of her trunk when she was building her business, building her reputation, before she came up with the vending machine idea, which I have to give it to Lil Sis. Like, she was definitely on her grind. She deserves all her flowers. I mean, like, what is she in her? I think she may be a little bit younger than Mel. I mean, like,
She's
Sis was
doing
doing big things. He
more.
did not want to invest. He did not want to invest. I'm trying to remember the first season, but I feel like Cliff did not want to invest. He bought in after she had her first shop for Goddess Link. But like because he was, I guess he was making a little money with the mechanics or whatever it is that he do.
Mm-hmm.
But brought like one screwdriver to fix a leaky pipe.
Mm-hmm.
So like at the shop, I remember that. But the thing I want to touch on about Josh, I have friends who, we friends, we talk. You tell me about your man and all the things that he's done, and then you expect me to be able to now come back and sit and we're gonna have a drink and we're gonna just sit and chit and it's I feel like almost you need to be knowing that you are out the door before you share that kind of stuff with people that care about you, because you can't expect for them to then come and smile and Jackson, get over here. You cannot expect for people to then, your friends who love you, to be able to sit and smile in the face and not remember all the stuff that you said. Josh is going to see Cliff as the bad person that Latrice has painted him to be in their conversations.
Thank you for bringing that up. I said that we all know someone who's not, who might be in that situation. Either you knew them or you know them, and you have been trying to talk to them, and then all of a sudden they want you to pretend like it's not happening. That's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes,
hard to
it's hard to do.
be a friend for long.
You can't make me, yes, you can't make me like, and even if I'm not giving my opinion, and even if I'm just listening, I can't be that listening ear and then unknow the things I know. That is a really, really difficult situation. Now, it may not be Josh's place to be in that man's house, and because he is disrespectful. I mean, like, that I can agree with. And so you're not going to disrespect me in my house. I don't care like what's going on. You living here for free. She's not having any other employees that can't shower in unsewage water. So like, but I understand their relationship is different. But he does kind of borderline on the, am I paying you to actually work or paying you to listen to my problems? Because he was even a
Right.
little disrespectful in the shop.
Right.
So you gotta separate. But because of that, because Josh ain't gonna never do anything or have anything to do with Cliff again. Um, After that bar scene, like I'm wondering what's gonna happen next week.
I
Because and don't sleep on them little boys. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them because they literally been fighting all their life. So Cliff can think.
So someone said that her mother is still in her life. So that's number one. And she did bring it up that she was controlling. It's also being said that Cliff has, they're saying that he owns a construction company, and that he has
Okay.
long money. So he has some money. I mean, she has a beautiful house. She has a beautiful.
Yes, she
I love
does.
that mural she has of her and Cliff. I would want her to have it with somebody who, it's a little more respectful,
Ju-
but it is what it is. But she's looks like common sense is saying what you're saying too. Even with Josh disrespect, it puts Latrice in a bad place,
Mhm.
because at
Yes.
some point Josh is going to go home, so he can't do that. But
Yes.
Latrice might be in a bad place right now because of what is airing on television. So
Yeah.
there's that.
But that really like triggered like a whole thing with me, that whole parking lot scene, because I grew up with my mom being abused by my brother and sister's dad. So
Hmm.
I grew up seeing that. That is very triggering. That, there's scenes that it's hard to like get past.
Hmm.
That right there, that was really hard to watch. And if I'm not mistaken, I know the tree still has a brother that's
She does.
living. And so
Got out
like
of
for
jail, right?
me, yes, I
I
I
should say
wish
just got
they
out. They
would.
talked about him getting out of jail.
hmm so I'm gonna move on. I think I've like gone on with that too much.
Okay.
Male, I when I try to send a few encouraging words to Mel and her DMs. I call her little sis. That's my little sis. Um, I am. Mel is playing the long game. Mel constantly says it's chess, it's not checkers. We playing chess, not checkers. Okay, so she is definitely playing the long game. I feel like she was definitely trying to make sure that she remembered that Martel was her kid's father. She did that, and till she couldn't do it no more. When he wasn't protecting her, she was still protecting him. Mel protected Martel from the very beginning of this show, when she let him go on and on and on about how he was the breadwinner, the dominant parent. I don't even know what a dominant parent is. I have no idea what a dominant parent is at all. He's the dominant parent. He cooked, he cleaned, he did this. She did not emasculate him at all. There were plenty of opportunities where she
Never.
could have emasculated him, and
Let
she
me
did
tell you
not.
something. Golden, golden, golden. I went back to watch, and I've been watching the show again forever, but I went back and I said I was going to start doing the reviews from the beginning, because I didn't start doing reviews on
Yes.
YouTube until season 3, I think. But when I started watching, I was like, oh, I can't even review this, because Melody is a different person now than who she was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was a strong person. She was clearly a
Yes.
business, all those things. But Melody was very much submissive to her husband.
Yes.
In
She
my,
was.
in them,
Yeah,
some
I believe she was.
professionals, when they would talk and he would say certain things and she would just stop talking, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I said, this is their, every couple has it. There's things that you do, there's things you don't do. And
Right.
that's how they handle themselves. But when Melody decided this is it for me, that's when she broke out. And she said this too, that, she was in a different space, but it's just interesting to see. I have so many people that's trying to join the live. And I
Mm-hmm.
have to let someone drop out before I can bring
Of
you in.
course.
No, I'm not saying this to you. I'm just making the
Oh,
announcement. There's someone who keeps trying to get in, and my the whatever I have, the stream that I have, only will allow me to have 10 people in the back. So I have 10 people in the back, and I know people keep pushing the button to get in. So you won't be able to get in until I have someone drop down. So I hope that helps you. And I will stay on. Right now it's 2:17. I'll plan on staying on till like 3 o'clock if possible. Okay. So, anyways, I'm sorry about that, Miss Golden, for interrupting.
that's okay. That's okay. Of course. Um, I think we all have to remember. I want to say, so let me put this from my perspective, from what I see with Mel and her growth. Um, I just turned 50 in February. Um, that's actually my one of the pictures from my photo shoot.
Okay.
So, but my husband and I will be married 29 years on the 28th of this month. And so we married very young. I was 21 going on 22. It's kind of like a quick thing. We met in the army. So it was a very, you scared somebody going PCS. So you kind of tied a knot, like really young. I know the feeling of growing and changing in a relationship. The person I was then, the person he was then, it's completely different. Yes, Mel hadn't even begun to live coming right out of college. She, yes, Mel is smart. She is definitely on top of her game. For me, I feel like it's a completely different story as you mature as a woman, and the
Yeah.
things that, like, you know, it's different. I know that Martel love bombed Mel to death on that campus, and she
Love
he was he love bombed her to death. Mel always says that we were taking walks in the park, we were holding hands, we were going on vacation. You know,
still
if
having
you have,
babies. Yeah.
yeah, still having babies. She was like, he was having sex. Come on, I mean, like Tank and Mariah are like what, 15 months apart. I mean, like, so yes, don't play in Mel's face and act like y'all wasn't putting it down.
Hmm.
Martell is who he is because that is who he's always been. What he has used is his maleness, I will say, to be respectful. He has always used his maleness to be in some woman's pants somewhere. When Mel said there have been multiple women, we know she telling the truth.
Hmm.
This whole, coleslaw with her, I took him with my eyes closed. There is not a man in the world who would allow any woman to disrespect a woman that you have grown a family with. When you think about that little girl and the nastiest, nasty things that she used to say online, on live, and now you got him disrespecting the mother of, you remember the mother of his four beautiful kids. This the mother of my four beautiful kids. This man talks out both sides constantly. I don't like Maurice. I promise you, I don't like Maurice. But that double sided, he was telling the truth. I don't like his Martin Luther King speeches because they don't come at the appropriate time at all. They come at a time when it's not needed. This is something that should have been going on all along. All these people were behind Mel's back, knowing. For Carson to say that she actually told Letitia, and Letitia told her, don't even get into that. Really? You get into it. Miss Mel has a dark soul, but you knew this was going on. Oh my God, I know they was having barbecues with Coleslaw and Martell. I
Child,
know
child. Okay.
that they was at the cookout.
They were at the cookout. Listen, and that's what makes it
I'm
makes it
so
disturbing for me.
sorry.
But I
They
was
was all at the cookout.
one of the things I know people, was not feeling Carson, but one of the things I have to say is, can you just think for a second? Like I know Melody was saying, everybody just think about how I felt, what I went through.
Mhm.
Again, we don't know if that tape went anywhere else. It could have.
Right.
And then what if he has tapes of others and he,
Hmm.
used the threats against them? Because
Right.
people like to have control over people. It's a thing to do.
Yes.
We don't know
Yes.
who has been lifted from this very conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I, yeah. I love these chats. I love these chats. The there's something that you can get from everybody. There is nothing that we can't learn from each other, and that's why I love being in your chats.
I appreciate
This is the only one that I actually come up on. Now I'll be in behind the bushes in others' chats.
you in the bushes over your other chat.
Um, I'll be in the bushes. I comment. I do. I comment. I comment. But this your chat is the only chat where I felt comfortable enough with what I feel or like-minded when we have these conversations, because it's more than just about just the shows.
Yeah,
It's
it's about us.
universal.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's the point. That's the point of my platform. If you read my little thing definition of the show, it's us talking about how these shows affect us and you know,
Yes.
our own experiences, because we get to see things, and it's important. That's
Yeah.
why I watch the show.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely. My husband swear I live in Huntsville.
listen, it's important for us to see our own images. This is important for us to know when something is enough. Sometimes people live in spaces and they don't know that they're in a bad space until they see it
Hmm.
with someone else. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Okay.
Yes. I mean, she had to grow. She had to grow. I think you know, I I thank God for the fact that Melody was able to see her way clear out of that.
Yeah.
Because there are some folks that will continue to stick around. Kimmy, even though you're the most adult in amongst the couples, I'm sorry, just like the more I know about Kimmy and Maurice's relationship, or the more I see, I don't know their relationship, the more I see, I mean, she giving me a little pick me vibes. I mean, you know, took Jalen to the barber shop. I
Well,
mean,
I'm gonna say this.
how many jobs has this man had? He was a barber. I don't understand.
We're going to see more of this relationship this season, and I'm actually excited about it. Kimmy's and Maurice's relationship right now seems to be one of the most interesting on the show
Hmm.
for this season
Yes,
right now. That's what
it's
that's
it's
what I
changed. It's changed. It's changed from what we saw in the beginning, where I was like, oh, this couple, they're mature. I love this couple. It's different.
it's different, but I want to see how Kimmy is after her journey. I mean, she was still filming parts of
Yes.
this, but I'd like to see how she engages Maurice, and I want to see who she is as a stepmom. I do. I'm
Right.
interested in that.
Right. I'm
But I'm
I'm
gonna
I'm
look.
interested in that, but it's you know, I'm interested in that definitely, but that's uncomfortable. So I can't wait for us to talk about the Kimmy, Kiowa, Maurice dynamic. I
Correct.
can't wait because I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out what that whole do you want Kimmy to raise monster or discipline monster like she disciplined Jalen? I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna want Carlos to ask that question.
Okay.
I
Well,
enjoy y'all.
I'm
I'll still
down,
be listening.
and I
Yes,
appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Come back, okay? We'll be back in the
of
next time.
course.
Oh, I lost someone else. All right, Miss Golden. So I have you, Miss Hannah.
Okay, thank you.
I,
Enjoying the conversation.
I appreciate you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have everybody. I'm gonna give you like 5 to 6 minutes because we are running out of time for people. So go ahead, Miss Hannah.
Okay, great. I got my clock right here.
Okay.
But since you all brought up Kimmy and Maurice, and we were talking about Latrice and Clifton and whatever his name is,
Mhm.
I see somewhat of a parallel. But here's the problem with that I think Latrice has, and trust me, I am pro woman, and I don't like to say anything negative about women.
Mhm.
But in her case, I'm thinking now, she put herself in this situation because as far as marrying this older man, she knew everything. Well, I'm pretty sure if she, I just don't see how I don't even know how old this man is. She looked like she's maybe in her 30s or something. He may be in his 50s, got grandkids and everything.
He's in his
And
60s.
then, oh, he's in his 60s.
I believe so.
Okay. But she also knew, it almost seemed like she knew him from around town, I'm pretty sure. Because, in Mississippi, that's where I'm from.
Mhm.
People it's no problem with, younger women marrying older men.
Mhm.
But then there's a reason that they do it. Now, Latrice, it may be financial. I don't think Latrice, maybe she did marry him for financial reasons. I'm not sure. But now she's trying to do something totally different with her business and everything like that. And he's just don't seem like he's biting off on it. Maurice, on the other hand, with Kimmy, he seemed like he married her for the same reason that I'm thinking maybe Latrice married Clifton for financial stability. And Kimmy trying to change the game now when I think she knew from the beginning Maurice's character because she was the one to say, well, I knew what he was doing before he got married. And she also tried to stick it to Kiowa when she said that when when Maurice started dating her, he stopped messing around with all the other women and married her. And that is the reason Kiowa had a problem with her. I don't think so, because Kiowa was already married. And she also said she got the prize. Okay, you got the prize. That's fine. So take everything that the prize offers and don't complain and go with the flow, because Maurice ain't going to change, in my opinion. And as far as Melody and the situation that just came up with the Belinda showing her daughter's picture on her Instagram page, Martel is so careless and so vindictive. I wouldn't put it past him that he had this girl do this for a reason. But then on the other hand, the flip side of that, Melody cannot post her kids on Instagram or anything like that. That is a problem for me. I think that she needs to go back and to court and try to maybe get some kind. I think they had it in the court case or the agreement or whatever. Whatever the final document was, if I'm reading it right, that they may be able to go back and get that changed. I'm not sure, but I wish she could, because that's not right for her not to be able to show her kids.
If I'm not mistaken, what I heard was, and I believe this was on, I don't want to call it a channel in case I'm wrong. Ooh, I don't want to mess anybody up, but I heard that when they had that war over August online, back and forth, Melody and Martel, I heard that the reason why the judge said no more kids online is because the kids got caught up in the crossfire. So it was the judge's orders. I don't even know. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, I remember that, but I think that there may have been some, if they go back to the judge and maybe a special circumstance, maybe I saw that in there. I don't know. But anyway, I hope there are some cases where she can post her kids. But either way it goes, I think that, when Melody, if she ever decides to get married or get into a really serious relationship, and she starts to want to, share her entire family, including her new husband or whatever, maybe she could do that and don't feel guilty about it, because here Martel is doing all this other stuff. So he's setting the standard for, how they deal with the kids when it comes to another relationship, in my opinion. So I don't think she can be.
I'm sorry, Hannah, just because I like for everybody to have the full picture. The picture of the child was in a video, and it was with other children. So I want to say that it wasn't like just that picture alone on the video. And I know that Melody's mother and her other family members also post the kiddos every once in a while.
Yeah, so it's fair game. But this is a lady that Martel was dating. So in either way, it seemed like, I don't know what he was doing, because he don't even know what he's doing. So I'm just out of it when it comes to Martel. I cannot with Martel. And so the bottom, and then with Carson, I'm glad she came out when she came out. Maybe I do wish that she had done it earlier, but because she did it, 2 years later, and she told Letitia them. I do have a problem with her telling Letitia, because that was none of her business. And I still question her reason for doing it. She said she did it because Letitia is team wife. Letitia was not team Melody. She may be team wife, but she was not team Melody. And we saw that vividly displayed by her behaviors. So you knew that this girl was having some problems with Melody, and you should still show that. So, but okay, I know my 5 minutes are up. So, but great. Thank y'all so much, and have a great day now.
Okay, come back.
Thank you, Doc. I didn't even speak to everyone when I first came in, but anyway, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. All right, Miss Sherry and Aunt Natty, you're coming up, okay? I'm gonna go with Miss Sherry first, then you next. Okay. Hey, Miss Sherry.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Diana. Love your show.
Thank
I've
you.
tried to come up several times, but depending on what's going on, I would have to drop off. But just on the subject of talking about Latrice and Clifton, I think Latrice is at a turning point in her life right now. And I
Okay.
think maybe she might be trying to use the show to put a spotlight on Cliff.
Sherry, your audio is going out. It's like you're going in and out. Is your phone next to your mouth?
Can you hear me better now?
Perfect.
Okay. It's the earpiece. I said, I think Latrice now, she may be using the show to put a spotlight on Cliff to kind of help her. So if she decides that she's really going to make her move and get away from him, that it'll be documented how he moves. Because
it's a wise idea.
She knows she's, that's how she, and to me, it seems like a lot of women who are on these reality shows and they are in situations where they have these husbands who exhibit this crazy behavior and how they're treating them. It seems like they get in front of the camera because they want to have other eyes on this to see. It's not just me saying this. I want y'all to see how this person is actually moving. The fact that her friend, her employee, or whatever he is saying that you're constantly telling me what you say he's doing to you, but then when you get in front of him, it's like you want me to not see it, And I think she moved him into the house so that she could have extra security. She's already said she's taken one step. She's not sleeping in the bedroom with her anymore. So she's taking little steps to try to get herself removed from him. And who knows what goes on in the house because she's moved out the bedroom with him. So now she has her employee in there to try kind of offer her some security. It's going to come a time when he's going to have to move because Cliff, the friend, he's kind of overstepping his bounds a little bit, but he's trying to put it out there so he can see that, okay, this is what's going on.
I agree with you. I think the friend said, oh, you want me on the show? If I'm on the show. And maybe they had a conversation about it where they said, this is what I'm going to do. He said, if you're going to bring me on the show, then I'm going to tell what I see.
Exactly.
I mean,
and she made
my friend. I would say
because
on the show that I'm never going to let my footprint be that I was okay with this shit. I would never let that happen.
Right. And everybody has that friend. We know we have that friend who, if we want something to be said, we gonna tell them because we know they're not gonna hold their tongue. They're gonna say what needs to be said. And she strategically chose him. I'm gonna let him be the one to help me. It's just like the other girl, and I think she went on the show, put a ring on it. What was Shorty and
Shorty?
I can't think of what his name.
I forgot his name too, but he was crazy as all get out.
Exactly, and I think she went on the show to get away from him, to highlight his behavior. So I think
doing a blink twice. She's definitely blinking twice. I need help.
Exactly. And I think a lot of them are utilizing the shows to put a spotlight on the behavior so they can have something else to corroborate their stories, to say, look, it's not just me. I'm not crazy. And they try to leave, but the men put so much pressure on them till they have to keep coming back because they make life so miserable. Even Melody says she left Martel a couple of times, but she went back. It's because the men don't stop. They just keep going and going and going until they have to go back. But that's what I wanted to say about Cliff and Latrice. I think she's eventually going to leave him, but I think she's trying to take small steps in order to get to that point because we see how controlling he is. So I think that's what she's trying to do as far as them is concerned. Melody and Martel, well, I think Melody is handling her situation perfectly. I think Melody knows more than we know she knows. And she's taking her own.
Melody has already said we don't know everything. So we know we don't know everything.
Right.
It's been said out loud. And we also just have to we have to recognize that she is a woman who is aware that she is in a situation. She knows it.
Exactly.
And so
exactly. And I think Melody may have gotten wind of, because I don't know, I think it was a little bit after when she said that he had sent her the text message about the tape. And I think she wanted to get it documented because she specifically asked him, made him answer the question, did I ever do that for you?
Well, she made
so
an answer.
I think
he was lying all across town, saying that was the reason she did it, making her seem like a bad wife. But
exactly.
I'm gonna have to bring you down, Miss Cherry, just because I have so many people in the back, and I'm hoping you can come back tomorrow or Friday. I might do another person I want to talk about too. All right, I appreciate you. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Hey, Miss Natty, Aunt Natty, can you unmic? Okay.
Hey, Dyana, I love your hat game. I'm a hat lady too.
Thank you.
I have a different take on Cliff and Latrice.
Okay.
Latrice has daddy issues. She said she has daddy issues.
Okay.
She married Cliff as her daddy. And she's the same age as his children, in the same age group. She married him for two reasons: to help her with her business and as her daddy. That's why she calls him Zaddy instead of daddy. First of all, Josh is very disrespectful, and he would have been out of my house expeditiously. But Latrice is just as wrong. But I don't care if it's your best friend, your mother. If you're not ready to leave, keep your mouth closed.
Okay.
Because the average man, he has to care for Latrice, or he would have took her friend about a stuff. My husband would have grabbed him by the collar of his shirt and threw him out of our household. As far as Melody is a Christian. God said, you keep your mouth, I'll fight your battles. End of that story. With Kim and Kroy is the opposite of Latrice and Cliff. Kim is much older than Kroy. When Kroy went, and that's
how much older?
Kim,
I think they're only like 3-4 years.
I think Kim a lot older than that, y'all. I think Kim lying on her bio. That's just me. I'm 68.
I something when she was on the show. She was only like 31, 32. And Andy said those wigs make you look like you are 10 years older. And she said, I know, I'm trying to break myself of the wigs. But she's not that old. Because she's still having babies.
Yeah. But I knew he was never a star player. I didn't know he was a kicker. But the thing about it is, just like Big Papa groomed her, she kind of groomed Kroy.
You think so?
Once he lost his job, yes. Once he lost his job, he was doing her nails. He was doing her wig. And Kim herself said she had a big gambling habit. She said that on RHOA and Tardy for the Party. So her friends say, yes, she goes to the casino a whole lot and plays big, but she wins.
Miss Natty.
No.
Miss Natty, hold on one second. Answer me this question. How did he become so aware all of a sudden? Why did it take him until the money was gone to stop the bleeding? And why is he
I don't think it was
child support and the house.
He was aware, but I think Kroy, and if you listen to Kim did an interview, I think Kroy really loved Kim, but Kim said, We are better together than any soulmates. So she left me the impression that he wasn't her soulmate because he disowned his whole family just to be with Kim. And you don't do that unless you love somebody.
So it looks like the chat is saying that there's about a 7-year age difference between the two of them. And you're saying that Kim is older.
And the lady that said that Sweetie was Kim's friend, Kim was never Sweetie's friend because you don't treat your friends like she treated Sweetie. I'm on Nene's level. Sweetie was her slave.
Ooh.
She never respected Sweetie. She never, and I really think Kim was the one, and Kim was still dealing with Big Papa the whole time she was with Kroy. I think that's who got her out of foreclosure the first time. And she got caught. That's the only time he didn't show for her is when she was going to Big Papa.
Oh, wow.
And he's gotten tired of her going to Big Papa getting money. And he said, stop it. We'll find something else to do. And she wouldn't. She never could go to Big Papa's house because Big Papa is still with his wife.
Okay. Well, you have some things that you have shared today, child. I really appreciate it. I like everybody to come up and give us their perspective because it really helps people think about things. And this is an interesting perspective. I still don't like neither one of them, but it's still an interesting perspective.
I don't like the way Cliff is doing Latrice, but Latrice went in that relationship looking for a daddy. And she put up with that behavior from the beginning. Cliff ain't just started doing this.
You might be right about that. You might be right about that. I agree.
Her mother told her, I do not like him. He's just like your daddy. And when she said that, Latrice put the biggest smile on her face. And I say, she married him to be her daddy because her daddy left when she was young. She was looking for a daddy and she got one. Big Papa has not passed. That was proven last week. People were saying Big Papa has passed, but he has not. He is still married to his wife.
Still around, y'all. Okay. That's interesting.
That was proven last week.
Okay. Well,
yes, ma'am.
You, Miss Maddie.
It was nice talking to you. I listen to you all the time. First time I ever came up. And back. I'm going to join.
You join
in June. I'm going to become a member. I'm a member in June.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. You all have a great day.
Bye-bye. All right. We have BX Girl. Hey. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can. How's it going?
I'm doing fine. This is my first time up. I love your hats. You're a beautiful lady. I also love your voice. And thank you for allowing me because I've been holding this for so long.
Thank you. I appreciate you. So what
Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Okay.
They are angry with Mel because of the 3747 acres. That was supposed to make them all millionaires. Mm-hmm. And when that thing, I don't even speak that name, would not stop, and she was forced to play her hand, they all turned against her. I wish everyone would leave that Carson girl alone and stop trying to find out what slave ship her ancestors came over here on, because the bottom line on it, in my opinion, is Tisha and Ugly brought her mother and that girl to embarrass and cause trouble for Mel again. Because nobody else bought a +1. And why did they choose? Why, out of all the people Tisha knows, why did she choose that girl when she knew her connection to that thing? So, however it came out, I'm glad that it did. Because now it's taken the focus off of, and it's putting it where it needs to be. And more people are for Mel than they are against her.
Yeah.
And they're not going to prosper. And that girl is smart. She has a village behind her. And I'm not a millimeter. I'm a right-o-meter.
Okay.
Okay. I am 62 years old. I have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. Okay. I am not a millimeter, a DyanaRozay. I am a mother and a grandmother, and I am a right-o-meter.
We're the Rozays.
Okay, I can be a Rozay though, because I love you. But that's where the focus should be. Leave that girl alone and stop trying to dig up her great grandmother. Because it all falls back to Tisha.
Points were made.
Tisha brought that girl around her.
Points were made. And now it looks like Carson has figured out a way to turn lemons into lemonade. So,
and I hope she does. And I will support that child just because. Just because.
Okay.
Of how they tried to use her. And I hope it backfires. And it is backfiring on them. Because they're going to be broke and sitting outside. And that little girl's going to be sitting somewhere smiling. And Mel has already done her thing. So they're not going to prosper.
You're right. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
And I'm kind of tired of, don't get me wrong, I love everybody. I don't like people who don't treat people well.
Agreed.
But we have a certain dynamic. There's a group that's running how Black people are portrayed on television.
Have been since the beginning of the time when they put blackface on in order the minstrel shows in order to, you know.
And I'm not talking about a racial group. I'm talking about the Carlos group.
I'm gonna say it's the entire group. We just had a conversation about how this has been on all channels for
exactly. And as women, especially Black women, we need to take our power back. So while we're running around here arguing amongst each other and bringing up these scenarios, we need to sit back and look, even how they dress. Why are your dresses cut down to your navel? And the other shows, they're covered. Have we looked at that? And yeah, you're sexy, you're cute, you're beautiful, you have a wonderful body. All of that is all good. But why are you on display like that? And I'm older. So come on. When I look at the other shows, they're covered.
What show are you talking about? Tell me. What show are you talking about?
Real Housewives of Atlanta. Real Housewives of Potomac. You look at the Beverly Hills girls, they may have some cleavage showing, but then their dresses aren't cut down to their navels.
So it just
and their breasts are not hanging out.
Let me stop you 1 second just to say this. Rest in peace to Tina Turner. I did not realize that.
Oh my gosh.
She was 83 years old, and it is reported right now that she passed away. The chat was running wild with it. So I just want to say that. And yes, she is an icon for sure.
Yes, she definitely is. God bless her.
Okay.
Well, at least she's not suffering anymore, because I heard that she was ill. So when I hear that people that are ill pass away, I thank God for their life, and their suffering has ended.
And she shared a lot of her story.
Exactly. And what a wonderful story she had. Well, she didn't have a good story, but how wonderful her story turned out for her. And the same is going to happen for Melody. For sure. Because this is ridiculous. I can't even watch anymore because I get triggered by yelling, by men screaming in a woman's face from my childhood. And what happened to me, and what I saw my father do, and what I saw my brother do. And I get triggered by men screaming. So I can't watch anymore. I get my information from you all. And I appreciate it, because I'm still interested in her story and her children.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have you drop down, Miss BX Girl. I appreciate you coming up. I'd love for you to come back. I have a couple more people that is waiting, and I want to make sure we can get everybody on, but you had some great points that you made. I love everyone to give their perspective. One of the things that you said was that some of the things that's triggering you right now is things that happen in your childhood. And for you to have gone through all of that and for this type of behavior to still continue, I want to just say it's important that people know it's a problem, because if you don't know, you don't make changes.
Amen. Thank you for letting me up. It was my first time ever, and I appreciate you for letting me get my little piece out. But thank you again. And you ladies, everyone have a nice day and stay blessed.
You too. Bye-bye. All right, Miss Lori Belle, you back up again. You forgot to tell me something? Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
So I got kicked out, but now since I'm back on, I appreciate you taking me back up again. I just want to say something about Kim Zolciak also.
Yes.
So it seems like from the very beginning, she's always been a gold digger, right? Because
when we met her, she was with a wealthy man that he would to show his face, but according to Carlos King, he was on the set on a regular basis. So when Nene was talking about the racism on set and some of the things we saw, it was from him. He may have been one of them, but there might have been more.
Yeah, but sometimes I look at like the Wikipedia, right? So when I look at the Wikipedia about her, she was actually raised in Connecticut, and that is where I am calling in from. So it looks like there was a scandal. She was going out with a police sergeant in Windsor Locks.
Oh.
And he was interviewing her as a material witness and basically trying to make her tell stories about an investigation. And at first he was getting fired, but then they just wound up rehiring him and making him have a loss of pay. So this is not something new when she came on with the Papa. This is starting when her early years. So imagine if she's been living in Georgia for a while. This started when she was in Connecticut way back when.
You just confirmed everything I just said. I said that she ties herself to men with power and money. But she's totally accepting of any of the trash that they're up to. Any of it.
All right. That is true. One last thing before we go, because I got my shades on. I'm running out the door. Okay. In regards to Kimmy, and it's too bad about her with the cancer, so we all empathize with that. But Maurice is looking for a mother too out of her. She should be focusing on getting well and not raising the child. She did a good job with Monster, and she can be a bonus mom. But Monster has a mother. Let her mother her son. But if Monster's under the roof with her, Monster should be able and should respect her and follow her rules. She's not hitting him, but he should be able to follow the rules of what she says going on. So if the father isn't backing her up, that's why he thinks he can be disrespectful to her. That's not fair.
That's what their storyline is about. Everything you do sounds like it's what the storyline is about this season. And I can't wait.
And one other thing, in regards to him, what makes him any different than Martel? Because she put him onto the deed to her house that she already had, right? So it ain't like he got out and worked for it. So that's no different than Martel trying to latch on to everybody. And Jalen is old enough to see. You don't think you see that? Because we haven't even seen him this season even.
We haven't seen him, but maybe he didn't want to come back. We don't know. Hopefully we'll find out the story, because he should have been at the party for his mother at the very minimum, right?
Noticed that. Didn't see it. Maybe he's tired of the baloney, but she did a good job with him. So I'm pretty sure the guidance that she could give Maurice could help with Monster. It's basically he's already grooming him to be just like him, so he won't have respect for women. And it's no different than Marceau.
We're gonna see. I'm looking forward, because Kiowa seems like a very strong mother. There's things that she tolerates, and I feel like there's things she tolerates. But Kimmy seemed like a very strong person too. So we know that Kiowa and Maurice's relationship did not work out, but I'm interested in seeing the conversation. It almost felt like it might be one of the realest conversations that we'll get this season, because Kiowa isn't, what's the word I'm looking for? She hasn't been, tamed by the camera.
She hasn't been tainted. Yeah, she hasn't been tainted. But the thing about it is, Kiowa, she is no nonsense, and there's probably more to the backstory than we know. But a lot of times the men play in the middle, so you don't know what he could have been saying to Kiowa and what he's saying to Kimmy, but vice versa. Kimmy could have been around before when she shouldn't have been around, but you don't know what he was saying.
Right. You're right. Okay, Miss Lori Belle. I'm
going to come up again. I appreciate it.
Better. I thank you so much.
Okie dokie. Enjoy your day, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Miss Gigi.
Hey, Diana, thank you for bringing me up. Me and my girlfriend, my best friend of since 5 years old, we were sitting down to watch the Belle Collective. And when that situation with Latrice came on, I had to turn it off. It
Oh,
triggered her, and it took me back to 4 years ago. She went through this with the same exact thing. I mean, it almost played like what we went through. We
okay.
were she was dealing with, her husband was a narcissist. We didn't know what was really going on. She was hiding it. I'm that friend that I'm gonna pop up if I feel like something is going on with you and you're telling me, oh, you're okay. I'm popping up. I don't care. You my sister, so I'm checking on you. So every time I would go over there, I didn't see anything really out of the ordinary, but the vibe was just real bad. And she would say she was okay. So I would let it slide. And we always spent a lot of time together. There's about 7 of us females that grew up together that we always had a girls' night out. And on 2 different occasions, he popped up. And this was probably 2 years into the marriage. The second time he popped up, and he told her really aggressively to come outside. He wanted to talk to her. And before she went out, she looked at us and she said, "You guys watch me, at the door."
Wow.
So I went straight to the door and I just stood there and I watched. I called my dude at the time and I was like, "Babe, I don't know what's going on, but I need you to be over here." Right. It just felt like something. And so he grabbed her, like just like this guy did last night. He snatched her arm, she snatched it back. So I opened the door and I was like, "What's going on?" Right. And so he said some choice words to me, but I didn't realize my phone was still on. So my dude is hearing everything, but he's on his way. So when he got there, he handled him, told him, "You're not going to be disrespectful to my woman, first of all. And this is her sister. So I don't care if it's your wife, you're not finna do that to her again." So she down the line, she made up her mind that she didn't want to be with him anymore, but she didn't have anywhere to go. So I let her move in with me because she was serious. This was it. She was done. She moved in with me. And he will be calling her and harassing her and at work and all that stuff. So he came to my house. Uninvited. He didn't know my dude and my 2 big brothers was there. And they let him have it, right? They gave him a beat down that was just good. It just did good, and it did good to her because she didn't have any brothers and sisters. So he took advantage of that. So he left her alone for a while. She filed divorce, got the divorce. Then she felt like she was okay to move on. He jumped on her, right? She ended up in the hospital where she almost lost her life.
Oh, wow.
Right? It was witnesses, all that. But my brothers and all the guys that we deal with got him good. He lost an eye behind all of this and went to jail.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't play. They don't play about us. They really don't, because they gave him plenty of warnings. So that triggered, it just took me back, but it triggered her. She couldn't watch it anymore. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it, but I haven't watched it yet. But I just want to come on and say, ladies, this stuff is serious. These men are crazy. And it's some women like that as well. But he's doing 11 years behind this assault because she almost died behind him jumping on her.
Wow.
And thank God it was witnesses that were there that got to testify and everything. And she had she had called the police on him a few times. And we're in California, so it's different than back in the South. California not playing with that. So he's in jail. He's in prison. She's moved on from it. It's been 4 years now. But I noticed that she hasn't gotten over it. And I don't know when she will or if she ever will, but she knows she has a village behind her that's with her for whatever, you know what I mean? But this stuff is serious.
Serious. And you know what? When you're younger, you don't always know the trouble you're in. And I too had a friend who used to be with the wrong dude. And when we were in a city by ourselves, and he knew it, you know what I'm saying? But I remember I would tell her to come stay at my house or whatever. And then he started calling me and telling me that he knew where I parked and that I need to stay out of his effing business. And he would do all kinds of shit. And I'm not kidding. And I was just like, but in my head, I'm just like, I'm going to, you're thinking, I'm going to beat this, blah, blah, blah. And I remember telling my mom, and she was like, "I'm going to tell you right now, when next time this happens," and she's telling me what to do. And she was like, "because I will come down here and break every bone in his body," kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, you don't think about it. You're just young. You have no idea the danger that you're in. And she ended up breaking up with him, but it was It was a thing, okay?
Yeah.
Man
Yeah, absolutely.
he had someone hide in her tub to hurt her, except I came in the house with her, and they didn't know that she was, going to bring a friend in.
Right.
And I ended up walking into, sorry about that. I ended up walking into her house. I had just came from the store, and this guy came from the back, pulled his shirt over his head like this, covered his face. I was standing in the door, like in the doorway, like, where is this guy coming from? Like, what the hell was you doing?
Right.
And started screaming, get the F from in front of the door. And we realized, like, she started screaming, who is that? I was like, he had someone set up to hurt you. Like, are you done now? Like, what is this about? And it was probably to make her think, for her to call him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
this guy was going to rough her up, and then she would call him, and everything would save the day. And I was like, this is it for me. You either have to leave this friendship or leave this relationship, or I'm out of the friendship. I can't do it.
right. And it was, and like I said, we didn't know that this was really going on like that because she covered it up. But I guess she had made up in her mind that she couldn't take it no more. And when he popped up, it just threw her over the edge because she's never like told us to watch a conversation with him at all. But if we had to jump him, we would have did it.
Right.
We would have got him up out the way. But and I know a lot of men that deal with women that don't have families and anybody to fall back on, and they take advantage of that. But when they know that she has somebody, it was a big change.
Right.
But like right now she's not in a relationship. She doesn't want to be in one, and she's not healthy enough to be one. She won't go see a psychiatrist or anything like that. But we're trying to encourage her to do that if we need to go with her or whatever. But we here for her. But I mean, I can remember a couple of times we went out again later on, and women would just bump into her and stuff. And we'd be like, wait, what is going on with these women bumping into you? Because they bump into her. So we thought it was something that he was doing.
Right.
But it stopped, it stopped. It didn't keep going. So, because we would have handled that for her. We would, girl, sit down. We got this. Because she's, real quiet. And she got real quiet and mousy, but we very loud. And we finna handle it. Like, we got goons and we the goonettes. So, whatever it takes, we not pro-violence, but we'll handle that. So I just wanted to come up here and share that story. So maybe it'll help somebody, to get out of a situation that they're in. I've dealt with somebody like that, but I saw the flags early on. And I grew up with all brothers and a great dad. So I didn't see that kind of, what happened. I watched my brothers be great husbands and father. So I didn't see none of this stuff growing up, and I'd never been involved in it, but I saw the signs in this guy and I shut it down real quick because I knew my brothers wasn't finna have it. They wasn't gonna let me be with this man because I know they saw it.
Right.
So yeah, but I just want to come up and share that with you.
Thank you so much. And I hope you come back up. Okay.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Miss Ty. Uh-oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Good. You sound better than you did last time. Last time you were in the dumps.
Okay.
You're not doing
right.
good.
We're not gonna live in the past. All right. We're not gonna live in the past. Okay. So, I have some things that I want to say, but it is from last week. You didn't have a live last week.
So yes, so we're talking about that show, that episode too. So yes, share what your thoughts on the episode. I think it was called My Chérie Amour.
No, not that episode.
That's the one 2 episodes for. The episode before that was the tea party, and I did have a live.
Okay. Okay, so what happened was it came out the week you didn't have the information.
Yes, so that was 7 days ago, and we talked a little bit about it. We're talking about the Melody saying that she was aware of the scam, the scheme.
Okay, so I had a little spiel I wanted to say about that. Do you mind?
Nope.
Okay, so let me start off with this. I would like to give you your flowers and tell you, first of all, how beautiful you are, and I pray for much success in all your ventures. I enjoy sharing perspectives with you. I believe you are an amazingly intelligent, multifaceted, strong, and kind woman. And as another beautiful brown-skinned woman, I appreciate you and your contributions to society.
Thank you. That's sweet. I appreciate it.
Okay, here's the disclaimer. I do not know any of the parties involved in this discussion, and I have never talked to anyone that will be discussed. The opinions and views expressed are my personal observations and perspectives and are in no way affiliated with DyanaRozay and her brand. Is that fine?
Okay. I'm going to still ask you to be careful because it sounds like you got a mouthful, but yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay.
Be careful because that
I will.
I can't get my channel striked because information's going all,
Listen,
it goes out to everybody.
I promise not to hurt your channel.
Okay.
I'll be very respectful.
Okay.
My first thing I would like to say is, I really would like some people to stop policing people's feelings, right? I'm speaking about the Carson situation. That's what I'm gonna speak about, the Carson situation.
Okay.
Carson stepped into a hostile situation. Some of Melody's fans are really connected to her through her situation and take protecting Melody very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I feel her fans have the right to be protective respectfully when they feel that it's a threat to Melody. For example, I use this as an example. If another content creator came for you, you don't think your members and subscribers would go harder than the paint for you?
Thank you, Betty Boop. Listen, I am sure of it. And I understand that. I do. So that's not a problem. And I respect everything that you're saying. So just go on ahead and get your points out there.
All right. Carson had pre-knowledge of the game and practice before she came on the field. I am not questioning everything she says, more like watching her strategic move. I don't know anyone who would just meet someone and automatically believe them 100%. That's not realistic. When we saw Carson on TV, the question was, how did Ariane friend get on Love and Marriage Huntsville? She was supposed to come to the people and tell us how she got on the show. Here's where stuff got crazy. When she exposed Melody's private and personal details that we never heard of from Melody that happened 2 years ago, that's when things got crazy. I feel that was not her place and had nothing to do with how she got on the show.
Okay.
The day when Ariane supposedly told her about the RP and they fell out, that's when, I feel Carson started plotting her strategy. It was very convenient for her to have these fallouts like one by one. She fall out with AC and then proceeds to move around contacting cast members from Love and Marriage Huntsville. She falls out with Tisha behind the hairstyle, which I think is questionable. Because if you're new to the city, you're trying to get established, I think you had, like I say, pre-knowledge because you was really friends with AC. Because in 2 months, like she said, she shared a lot of information with her in 2 months. And I don't know nobody who just meets somebody and call them and ask them what good cable companies they got down there. So whatever relationship Carson and AC had, it was tighter than what she's making it out to be. But that's besides the point. My whole thing was, if she told Melody about the RP, why did she have to come and tell us about the RP? I don't feel that was her place. Not in details like that. That got a lot of people hot. They had my baby on live, Melody on live, crying. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. What do you feel about that part, about her exposing that particular part?
Here's my feelings, and I've said this before. I tried this. I don't know when you came into the live, but what I started this live with is Martel has done this campaign of, and this is my opinion, if I can't have Melody, nobody can. And if anybody has listened to previous videos of mine, I've said that he does this thing where he goes into groups of men specifically and basically makes her out to be not worthy of being with. He's done it in the sports world. He's done it in the political world now. He's done it in a lot of different forums, okay? And so for me, I believe that sometimes things need to happen because we know what he did to Melody, but we also know, allegedly, that he has other women and he could be doing the very same thing to them. In fact, Carson told Melody about the tape, but what if he gave it to someone? What if he gave it to another person who's holding on to it and he said, he said, I'm going to hold back right now. I don't want to do anything. The tape is already, or wherever it's at, it could be with that person already. It could be. And maybe they wanted to say something, but they didn't know how. I think that things happen for a reason. Let me put it that way. And I think when Melody said, I knew about it already, because she did, she was the one who shared it with us. She said he sent her a screenshot of the video. Melody shared with everybody else that this was happening, revenge porn. And then she made the comment, I have 4 kids with you some way, ding dong. Like, I know this is you and I, even though we set it up to be her and someone else. I know this is you and I. And we don't know when this tape was made. Maybe it was happening. Maybe, we don't know. I have no clue. But maybe it was happening during the time she was trying to save her marriage. And this raggedy ass clown decided to take this video during a time when she was the most vulnerable, because she may have not chose to do that any other time. But since she's like, you're my husband, I trust you. I think in those situations, sometimes it's saving something else. So this could have happened to her. Maybe somebody else has access to it. Maybe someone else was wanting to share that with her, but didn't know how. And I think we have to leave space for that.
Okay, now let me tell you, I totally agree with you. I agree with you on that. But I'm still going to have a problem with Carson being very detailed in what the RP was.
I didn't hear the details of it, and I apologize. I've heard some things, but I didn't hear that, and I'm gonna listen to it just because I know a lot of people have been upset about it. So I'll listen.
Now I'm almost out. However, the question still remains: what is her motivated end game? Now, if if she want to get on and pop up, then go off, sis. Just leave Melody name out of it. My theory is possibly she wanted to expose the true grimy nature of Martel, disgusting, vile nature, gutter snipe, Holt, Ariane, nutty buddy, slutty curry, and Letitia, Ursula's dark, poor, unfortunate soul, self-esteem has no steam, scut, okay? Which adds to their true characters, like season 1 snakes. So that just put more spotlight on their characteristics as people. Ariane, Martel, and Letitia. But like I said, look, I heard somebody earlier say, whatever she do, I'm gonna support. That's fine. I'm not. I'm Team Melody. And I heard Melody say she gave her grace. That's Melody's walk. She's in that walk, in that place of giving grace. Me, I'm just not gonna fool with it. Period. But I still wanted to speak my piece on it, how I felt about it. And that was it.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate you speaking your piece. There's a lot of people who feel like you. I think that Carson is more open, and there's a younger generation that says a whole lot more than people typically would share about the bedroom. And she seems to be one of them. So it could be a generational thing. That's why I put this up. Age different thing, but Melody did say, Melody had shared with us that the tape was out there. Martel had said a whole lot more, implied certain things. Someone actually asked the question, didn't Martel say season 3 on the reunion stage that this existed? And I want to say yes, because that would have been 2021 when all of this was supposed to take place. It literally could have happened right in that same time frame.
Well, I remember him saying he had her on recording, confirming that she did do a sexual act with somebody else. Is that what you're talking about?
He did say that, and he put an audio out of that as well. But we know that he's not always, there's always more to the story. There's always more to it. So anywho, I appreciate you, Ty. I want to get the rest of these people up.
Yeah, go ahead.
But
I'm gonna still be up in the chat stalking.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, Miss Valerie. Oops, Miss Valerie.
Yes, hi. This is my first time. I'm actually getting ready to head to work, but I saw that you were having this, and I was like, "Oh, I've never done this before." So I just wanted to come on. And I apologize. I caught you mid-show, so I don't really know what your topic is about today. But I just want to say something about all of the shows all together that really bothers me.
Okay.
The thing that bothers me the most is that I think that all of these women are very they have skills. Okay, they're intelligent. They're trying to be business women. I don't care if we're talking about Atlanta Housewives. I don't care if we're talking about Love Marriage Huntsville. The thing that I have a problem with is that they're not elevating their minds and their emotions to match where they say they're trying to go. And I think that Mel is trying, and she's doing a very good job. And I think that's why she's coming under a lot of attack. I know a lot of people are angry about the way Tisha and Stormy and a lot of others come for her. You look at how Sheree is handling things on, Real Housewives of Atlanta. We have to do better in that area when it comes down to really looking at our whole entire spectrum, our whole entire life, our career, our personal life and our career. They must match. They have to match. We can't just keep going around and wanting people to give us respect as celebrities and things like that, but we're acting just low level thinking, if for lack of a better word, and acting no better than people who quote unquote don't have money or have not achieved that type of success. And I think that they're basically setting a bad example of showing how to carry yourself when you obtain wealth and money, and getting along with people. This jealousy and all of this going back and forth should not be there.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that wealth changes who you are on the?
No, I do not. It should though.
People that are wealthy, they commit crimes, they commit
assault,
they commit murder. There's a whole thing that wealthy people do.
Yes, but I'm talking about the thing, I guess, let me be more specific. Let me say this, more so I'm talking about for the Black women, because I think that we have a lot of younger people that are watching these shows and they're learning from each other. And I know a lot of people are talking about how ghetto Stormy is and things like that. And I have a problem with that. She should do better. She is a brand. She is a success story. And whether she wants to be or not, she's a leader for the up and coming young people who are aspiring, to be, a successful business person. So I think that they should turn their attentions more to that type of stuff instead of staying on this personal level of constantly criticizing each other. We go through this garbage every single day of the week in our everyday lives, and we don't come to TV to watch people sit here and tear each other down. And that's all I'm saying. They have the means, the environment, the connections to really connect with a better a group of people, better mindsets and things like that. I'm not saying that just because they have money, they're going to do better. They should aspire to do better. That's all that I'm saying.
Aspire to do better. And I agree with you that we all should aspire to do better. But I want to point out that Stormy was who she is right now, built her wealth.
Yes.
However that happened, she was who the cursing, all of that, when she contacted Walmart or however these other, she got her hair product, that's all Stormy. She's one person. And I also, because we say this about ourselves a lot, but what I don't say enough, and I'm going to put it out there, is that Black women lead in damn near almost everything. We just don't put those stats. And I posted it on my IG. If you follow me on IG, you please do, because I need to talk about this all the time. We, in our group, amongst us, okay, Black women, I think it was 85% of bachelor degrees, 66% of master degrees, and I want to say right behind it in like doctorates or medical degrees. Like, we outpace men in our demographic in every area. Even with these images on here, and part of me think that it's the images that make us think we got to do better, and we're going out and getting this stuff. And unfortunately, Black men are way behind in those
Yeah.
same areas. But we outpace them, and I believe right now we're the fastest demographic, Black women, fastest demographic in military service.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm leaving something out. Oh, small businesses, like literally almost everything. So when I read those demographics and I see what's on television, they don't match up.
Mm-hmm.
We outpace it in every single way. And young women in particular are incredibly smart.
Yes, they are.
They're incredibly smart. They especially in activism, that's the other thing. They're not the type to just sit back and take it. I love it. I love it. I love that they're making their own way. And I think they're making their own way because we do see these images and we know that's not true for ourselves. But I do agree with you that who we actually are need to match. But if Stormy is this person, I don't know if it's bad. I don't know if it's necessarily bad for her to try to be different if that's who she was. That's who she was when she made the wealth, right?
Right, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, okay, Stormy can be who she is, but you're coming on a show, her, Tisha, and all these other people, or Tisha, they're coming on the show and they're actually tearing down another businesswoman. And
But
I'm saying, does that really have to be part of
understand.
your personality? I mean, you're successful, she's successful. Why can't y'all be happy for each other? It doesn't have to be someone has to be on top and everybody has to be beneath you. That's the mindset that I don't like, the constant crushing of each other. And I understand you mentioned the degrees and things like that, but in that, we should be happy for each other as well.
I agree.
And that's all I'm saying. It bothers me to watch these shows where everybody's nitpicking, especially seems like towards one particular person. And it's like, well, okay, well, mind your business and you figure out what you want to bring to the people instead of looking at this person and making this person your storyline and picking them apart. Because like you just said, Mel is who she is as well. So for them to criticize every area of her life and trying to change her, that's not right either.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that part. I agree with you 100%. I just want us to also know that the images we see is not actually accurate.
Yes.
It's not accurate for our community.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Okay. I appreciate you. I hope you come back.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Hey, Miss K. Moore.
Hi, Diana. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, very good. You know what? I enjoy your show.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know what? You talked about a lot of stuff today.
I did? Okay.
Yes, you did. And
have you been with me from the beginning of the show?
From the beginning, and I waited a long time. I'm just about forgot what I was going to tell you though. But you know what I picked up on?
What's that?
For me, the most important thing that I've heard on this chat today is something that you said, and that's about that that video. And it would certainly be a shame if 5 years from now, either by mistake or intentionally or being vindictive or whatever it may be, that was to come out. And I'm just not myself right now is just not understanding people. And I'm not judging nobody I'm just saying this in my head. I'm not understanding people. We have to do better. We must do better. And I think I heard you say that. But we have to do
Remind
better.
me what I said. You're saying that I said something. I don't know what I said. I don't want to take it.
Well, you know what? I hope I'm not going to say it point on, but you said something about that actually showing up again. It's a possibility that
So
may show up again.
that what happened could have prevented that tape from showing up again. Is that what you're saying?
Or something of that nature, yeah.
Possibility that someone else was holding on to something.
Exactly.
They were going to share, and our conversations may be preventing them if it's not being encouraged in a way like you need to get this to the right person.
Right. You know what? I think law enforcement should get involved, and by any chance, if that hits the scene, that should be a criminal case against the person that brought it on.
Okay.
And I think that should be whether it shows up 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Well, what we know for sure is that it was just 2 people involved. So
what do you mean?
Well, if it's 2 people on the tape, then, and she knows that she made it, then who would be the person, her husband? So
exactly.
Right.
So if it shows up anytime without them putting it out, it should be a criminal charge for whoever sent it to whoever to it getting out. That's what I think. I know it may not happen, but like I said, we need to do better. The show is what it is. The show started out as to being about Black enterprises and being excellence and all of that. And from the very beginning, we saw that change. So that is what it is. But when it gets to these videos and all that, that's a whole different level. And I think at some point, somebody needs to get involved and put a stop to all of this.
You spoke a word. I agree with you.
So, like I said, you talked about so much. So I'll let somebody else come up. Okay. But that's all I really wanted to say.
I didn't get it to you sooner. I'm so sorry, but I'm
no problem. No problem. You do your show, and it's very interesting to hear. So no, you didn't do anything wrong. You have a great day, okay?
And I hope that you come back. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Get a clue. Welcome. Hey, get a clue. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay, I think we lost get a clue. Nope. Okay, guys, I think that's going to wrap us up. We were on for quite a minute. I appreciate everybody who joined the chat. I'm going to call off everybody who joined the chat or became a member. We have 1,042 people watching, 1,000 likes at the moment. This screen is flying by. I'm so sorry that it's going so fast. But let me just say thank you to everybody. Murda, thank you so much. We have Coco Lee. Thank you for blessing the channel and for your comments. Judy Irvin. Thank you, Mary, for becoming a new member. Cookie from the Shy, as always, I appreciate you. She's a member. Bridget became a member. Let's see who else. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. New member, Gigi, 1960. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, Gigi. And I think I have everybody. There's some people that have been members for a while, and I always like to acknowledge you as well when you get a chance to come in. But you guys, thank y'all so much for everything, for joining this chat. We had a really good conversation. I am hoping that I can come on and talk to you guys tomorrow as well, because we're going to talk about, I think her name is DyanaRozay Jackson. She is heavy on social media right now. She was married to Derek Jackson, and she is talking about her story. If y'all don't know Derek Jackson, we'll talk a little bit more about it. Please research it. It's a really good story, and I'm hoping that I get a chance to talk to her too. So anyways, guys, I appreciate all of y'all for coming up, for talking to me, for sharing your stories, for helping someone get over whatever it is they're going through, because a lot of you have shared some really personal things, and it has been an amazing chat. So until next time, guys, I will see you on the next one.